"40 years ago, the VSI started because a group of our men in Europe wanted to have an organization. There were 10 members originally, one from each of the Vincentian provinces and one from the 5 Daughters of Charity provinces.
From 1979 until 2007, it was sponsored by the provinces of the Daughters of Charity and the Vincentians in the United States. In 2007, the sponsorship was transferred to DePaul University. First of all, to enable the Vincentian Studies Institute to play a role in mission enhancement and mission integration here at DePaul, while simultaneously using the resources of being headquartered at a university, continue to serve the Vincentian heritage needs of the Vincentian family around the world.
The purpose of the Institute is to promote a living interest in the heritage of St. Vincent de Paul. At that time, there was nothing authentic in English. Therefore, the first project was the translation of this 3-volume work, the prototype biography by Louise, who knew Vincent de Paul, as well as translation and publication of the 13 volumes, plus an index of the conferences and documents of St. Vincent de Paul, and translation into English and publication of the writings of Louise de Marillac, and later some members were involved in publishing in English for the first time the writings of Elizabeth Seton.
One piece that's part of the background is a big study that was done by Sister Betty Ann McNeil, and she decided to put together what she called the Vincentian Family tree. She did most of the big research and did it very professionally and wrote to all sorts of different congregations and discovered people that we really didn't know about who were in some way part of this larger Vincentian family.
We discovered at least 268 communities around the world had some relationship to the Vincentian charism. As these projects were going on, the VSI members also decided to publish a journal about twice a year.
The primary means by which the Vincentian Studies Institute has fulfilled its mission over the last 40 years has been through the Vincentian Heritage Journal. The Vincentian Heritage Journal provides an opportunity for scholars on Vincentian topics to explore various aspects of Vincentian history and spirituality and share those in a journal form.
The purpose of the journal is twofold. One, it's to keep the history of not only Vincent de Paul alive, but the Vincentian family. So Louise de Marillac, Elizabeth Seton, Frederick Ozanam, and there are many others.
As a visual aid, Vincent's first biography was written by Louis Abilene. Here's Louise's biography. That's the story right there. So again, part of that is then recapturing the role of Louise and women in founding the Vincentian tradition.
These are important stories and they deserve to be told well. And so what we try to do is provide a voice for that.
Now that we're publishing as an e-journal and not as a print journal, once things are up on the internet, they're available to everyone everywhere.
I scanned the first 30 on a bed scanner when I first was hired.
We have a lot of readership, much more than I ever expected. We get reports on how many of the articles have been downloaded and from where. And so the outreach is quite large. I mean, it's worldwide.
People have downloaded the articles tens of thousands of times in comparison to a print run, which could only be a couple thousand books that are printed.
I don't even think we ever even reached that level of readership when we were publishing it in paper. We have naturally evolved our mission from that core piece of the journal. Scholars need sources, and so the Vincentian Studies Institute at DePaul has dedicated a lot of its efforts to gathering these sources, whether they are manuscripts of Vincent himself or texts from his era or subsequent history texts or new texts. In addition to that, we put together a variety of Vincentian archival collections, and we also believe that material culture collections are designed to illustrate the day-to-day impact of this adjective Vincentian over 4 centuries and across the world. So for example, in the Vincentian Material Culture Collection, over the last 20 years, we've purchased over 10,000 items.
We decided we should probably scan a lot of things that we have so that the entire world can have access to this.
Each one is like a coat of paint, new colors that go on this big canvas, and it becomes more interesting the further along you go. One splash goes on it for historical documents, and others are images, others are podcasts, others are visuals, and each one of those is a part of this great painting that we're doing.
I came at the library to work on some archives, so there are beautiful archives in the special collections. Surprising, but there is here in Chicago fantastic primary sources in French about this story of the Vincentians. There is an incredible collection here at DePaul. I would say unique. I never seen as many images even in Paris, in the mother house of the Daughters of Charity.
We have now currently online the largest material culture collection is available to the entire world. So it's not only housed here at DePaul, but you could be across the world and read all the documents of Vincent de Paul, read all the letters of Vincent de Paul, see original materials, see all the postcards that we've collected, all of the relics and other things that have been collected, as well as all the works that Vincent de Paul might have read. You could take a look at all of that online right now because of all the efforts that we put in.
In many ways, the 40th anniversary of the SI is a defining moment as we look at the contributions that members have made. Vincent, Louise, and Elizabeth Ann must be smiling on how we have taken their vision, kept it going, and making it possible for others to understand, embrace the Vincentian charism.
It's just an important task to keep these stories alive. And I think DePaul, as a Vincentian university, there's no better place to tell them and to have these stories originate from.
I think we've been committed from the beginning to make the Vincentian mission known and appreciated. I think that helped people to understand what that's all about, the Vincentian thing, in quotes, and hopefully it will change people's lives.
This is not past history, this is present challenge. And what does that do for us today, and how does that adjective Vincentian give us the insights, give us the values, give us the mission, give us the faith to put it into action to change the world and to change it for the better?